for joining us for celebrating Mother's Day brunch. This is part one of our culinary kit series. My name is Chef Kevin Lee from PAI Honolulu. So to start off for Mother's Day brunch, we'll start with our signature custard French toast. Our house sweetbread, soaked with a vanilla custard, cooked with a little bit of brown butter. We'll also have a toasted fennel and sage sausage, garlic and herb roasted potatoes, an assortment of fresh fruit. And then for our entree, a chicken confit and braised chickpea stew, topped with a little garlic breadcrumb and soft poached egg. We have it broken down into dishes, individually portioned dishes. Here we have our garlic and herb roasted new potatoes. Inside the ramekin, we have the garnish of pickled red onions and parsley. Next to that, we have our toasted fennel and sage house sausage. Here we have our signature custard French toast. A house sweetbread soaked with a vanilla custard, cooked in a little bit of brown butter. Garnishes our house shoyu maple reduction, thyme and honey roasted strawberries, and fresh mint. For our entree, a chicken confit and braised chickpea stew. On your left, you have our spiced tomato stew base. In the center, chicken confit with stewed chickpeas. And on your right, garlic breadcrumbs, chopped herbs, and soft poached egg. So to start off, we're gonna transfer the French toast, potatoes, and sausage over to a baking sheet. Makes it just a little bit easier to rewarm, and we're gonna place this into an oven at about 350 degrees, just to kind of take off the chill and warm it through. I find it's a lot easier to transfer things onto baking sheets and keep them organized, as well as just heating in general. A little bit more efficient, and you can kind of keep track of what you have cooking at one time. So we're going to take this baking tray. I line it with parchment so it doesn't stick to the bottom. It also makes for a little bit easier cleaning. I take this tray, put it into an oven at about 350 degrees for about 5 to 7 minutes, just until it's warmed through. So while the French toast, potatoes, and sausage are reheating in the oven, we have a small pot of water that we brought up to a boil and then took off the heat. We're using that residual heat to rewarm a soft poached egg. So while the egg is warming back up in the warm water, we're going to take a medium-sized sauce pot and put the stew base inside. Basically, the stew base is a tomato-based sauce, has a little bit of garlic and onion, smoked Korean chili, a little bit of house seasoning as well. So as the stew base is warming up, we'll be adding in the braised chickpeas and the chicken confit. To cover a little bit of the cooking process behind these two ingredients, we have chickpeas, which are garbanzo beans. They've been soaked overnight in order for them to rehydrate. Soaking overnight, it allows them to, one, absorb moisture and water. It makes the cooking process a little bit easier and faster. As the water comes in from the outside, it's able to rehydrate the center. If you were to cook chickpeas from raw when they're dried, the outside is going to cook much faster than the inside, so you'll have different textures. On top, you have chicken confit. So confit is the process of slowly cooking an item in oil or fat, slowly cooking. In this case, we took chicken thighs that we brined, or basically brined overnight. A brine is taking a liquid and adding a little bit of salt and flavoring, and then the item is soaked in that brine overnight, and it allows the protein to absorb that flavor as well as maintain its juiciness and moisture. So after it's been brined overnight, we take the chicken thighs, put it in chicken fat, and then slowly poach that for about 3 hours. What that process does is it makes the chicken really, really tender, almost falling off the bone. So once the stew is warm, we're going to open up our package of chickpeas and chicken confit and add it inside. At first, we'll open up the side with the chickpeas and let them warm up, and leave the chicken confit behind to warm later. The chicken is already fully cooked, so all we really have to do is rewarm. Once the chickpeas are warmed through, we're going to add the chicken confit. Warm that through and break it up a little bit with your spatula. So as your stew is becoming hot, don't forget to check on your potatoes and French toast in the oven. As your stew is warming through, it's always a good idea to taste as you cook. That way you can see how things are progressing. If you need to add a little bit of salt, it's always good to build flavors as you go, rather than seasoning at the very end. It allows each ingredient to be seasoned throughout the cooking process. So if you need a little bit more salt, you can take it to how you enjoy your taste. Salt and pepper is always a good idea. Okay, now that the stew is ready and you've taken your French toast, potatoes, and sausages out of the oven, it's time to plate. So for plating the stew, we're going to take the stewed chickpeas with chicken confit and tomato-based sauce. I'm going to use a serving spoon. Just scoop it to the bottom of the bowl. It's nice and clean. Once again, this recipe makes 2 bowls of stew, but I'm only going to be plating one. Create like a little divot in the center, and that's where the egg is going to go. Take a little bit of the garlic breadcrumbs. Basically, it's garlic confit, which is kind of a different preparation of our chicken. So we have garlic cloves that have been taken out of their skin, and then gently cooked in extra virgin olive oil until they become nice and tender, and the oil is infused with a really nice, intense garlic flavor. We mix that with dehydrated sourdough bread that we do in-house, and then lightly toast it again. And then we're going to take out our egg that's been poached and rewarmed in a little bit of warm water. I'm going to take it, crack it into a small bowl. It kind of helps prevent, just in case some shell gets in, you don't want to crack it directly over your final plate. Okay. Here's our soft poached egg. If you don't have a perforated spoon at home, that's quite all right. Just use a appropriate sized spoon scoop it out of the bowl, and then what's left is your egg minus all the white protein that doesn't stick to the egg. Put it right inside the little divot. Finish it with a little bit of sea salt, cracked black pepper, and if you have a little bit more of those herbs left over, touch it around. And as we plate our side dishes, we have our French toast soaked in a vanilla custard, a little brown butter. We're going to top that with our house maple shoyu. Honey and thyme roasted strawberries. And fresh mint leaves. Next we're going to take our potatoes, herb roasted potatoes with garlic, herbs of thyme and rosemary. I'm going to top it with pickled red onions. Basically, it's thinly sliced red onions that have been hot pickled with basically red wine vinegar, a little bit of sugar, and salt. All of that is going to get topped with a few sprigs of flat leaf Italian parsley. Last but not least, our toasted fennel and sage sausages. Thank you once again for joining us on this beautiful Mother's Day. I hope you enjoy your meal with your loved ones. Hopefully you're able to join us next week for our Chinese-inspired theme menu for part 2 of our 6-part series of ho'oPAI. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.